Okay, before we start, Cynthia, the element of the lesson. This is our last task. Objective part. Who want to read? Paris, do you?
Yes, I will.
Okay, objective.
Objective. All lessons must have an aim, purpose, or objective. The instructor must be clear about the objective to get a successful learning outcome for any block of time. In order to choose an appropriate lesson aim, the
Mm-hmm.
instructor must work backwards in each curriculum area. For example, what are the general purposes of science education by the end of high school? This should include an enhancement of curiosity about the natural universe, development of a modern scientific attitude, including skepticism and familiarity with criteria of proof, and knowledge of basic findings and their application in several sciences. Instructors articulate this level of general purposes as a first step in lesson planning. The next steps. Oh,
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm still there. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you. The first step of our lesson or objective can be general and can be specific. Okay. Barbara, Hector,
Sure, Professor. Pre-assessment. This component of the
no,
lesson.
not the pre. Is after planning the lesson planning the next step in background planning or
Uh,
backward.
the next steps in backwards planning are A. Defining the annual objectives in the curriculum area, usually
Uh-huh.
provided by state education guidelines. B. Specifying unit objectives. And C. Choosing a series of lesson objectives consistent with annual and unit objectives.
Mm-hmm.
While the choice of a lesson's primary aim is important, it must be kept in mind that lessons almost always have secondary aims. These include the development of listening
Mm-hmm.
and speaking skills and vocabulary, the development of writing skills, the development of social skills like politeness and teamwork, and the development of quantitative thinking. Lessons will vary in the amount of attention paid to such secondary aims, but they are rarely to be ignored.
Okay, until there. Thank you, Hector.
I'm sorry, Professor. I don't know what happened to my computer, but if you want, I can participate.
Okay, Barbara.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, pre-assessment, Barbara. Thank you for that. Okay.
Pre-assessment. This component of the lesson plan determines the appropriateness of a specific
Uh,
primary objective. It involves evaluation of the level of skill and knowledge called for and determination of the difficulty of the lesson. Too easy, too hard, or just right. We may not be able to make that determination accurately until we are in the midst of the lesson.
yeah, this is it. Mm-hmm.
Until there?
No, continue.
For this reason, unit planning necessarily precedes lesson planning. The instructor must be able to move on quickly or in a greater depth if the lesson is too easy, or slow down, of course, if it is too hard. Adults bring life experiences to their roles as students and often have background knowledge that can be tapped.
Thank you. Mhm. Okay, can continue the pre-assessment, Catherine?
Yes. Pre-assessment is not just of the group we call a class, but of subgroups of an and of individuals. Instructors must develop a sound way of knowing where each student is in each curricular area, as well as how to construct small learning groups. Pre-assessment is best understood as individualization in the context of group learning. Pre-assessment includes the allotment of time. A class period is an administrative unit which may not provide an appropriate teaching unit. The nature of the subject and the students provide a best
Mhm.
guess, not sure about the pronunciation of that word, for timing. Pre-assessment may not be visible in the execution of every lesson, but it must always be an explicit part of the planning process.
It's necessary. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah. Motivation. Dania?
Mm, yes, I'm here. Motivations. Motivation is a physiological state which each student
Mm-hmm.
of waiting to learn what the instructor wants to teach. As such, motivations should not be a mere gi- gimmick
Gimmick.
at the,
Uh-huh.
uh-huh, at the lesson start. It must be an attitude sustained throughout a lesson. When lapses occur, the lesson cannot continue according to plan. Unmotivated students are not likely to be learning what we intend. Some motivations come from a hybrid of motivators. First, the subject matter is to be intrinsically motivating. Relevance
Mm-hmm.
or programmatic utility may be a part of ins-
Instinct.
intrinsic motivations.
Instinct motivation. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay. Gustavo says.
Okay, the second motivator is instructor enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
It flows from from an understanding of
Mm-hmm.
intrinsic motivation and adds to it. Authenticity is important. Pupils can tell
Mm-hmm.
the teacher are feigning. Good acting ability, however, may help. Thirdly, we come to focusing events. This may be of use in particular lesson. Usually, the first two motivators will suffice. A focusing event must not only gain the attention of the students, but it must be a natural lead into the lesson and relevant. It may be the first activity of the lesson rather than an special event. Since active learning is itself engagement, do lessons not only fail to achieve their objective, they tend to do the students to do the class.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Antonia Costa.
Uh, Technique and sequencing. Specific planning is needed to determine what teaching techniques will the instructor use for the
Mm-hmm.
lesson. Sequencing of lecture of an activity is another important consideration that is the best made before instructions begins. The instructor needs to think through the use of whole group of small group configurations and how to move the class in and out of this. Also, part of the lesson planning is the gathering of materials for instructional use. Before the lesson is taught, the instructor must think through how much time each facet of the lesson will take with the goals and 15 the lesson objective.
Thank you for that. Let me see. Mhm. And I think is Yailin.
Here, Professor.
Okay, let me see if I can. Application evaluation follow.
Okay.
Mhm.
This concluding part of the lesson plan speaks to the matters of artillery,
Mhm.
effectiveness of the lesson in the learning sequence. Aristotle emphasized artillery in his thinking on education. Educators who ignore artillery risks irrelevance. Modern ideas about applications are not, however, limited to the concrete, economic, or practical. We understand artillery to include the development of thoughtfulness, aesthetic sensibility, and democratic attitudes, among other aims. The instructor must implement know the place of each lesson with regard to one of another or another application.
Okay, until there. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Cindy?
Okay, here. Evaluation of a lesson provide information as to its effectiveness, the degree to which it has achieved its primary and additional learning aims with each student. The instructor cannot successfully continue with the lesson if students do not achieve the performance objective. There are many assessment devices, formal and informal, individual and group. Each device has advantages and limitations. Some are more useful in particular curriculum areas. Whatever the device, the lesson plan must always address the issues of evaluation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Freddy?
Yeah, evaluation of the lesson plan information also effectiveness, the degree to which it has achieved in the primary additional learning aims to each student. The instructor cannot successfully continue with the lesson if the student do not achieve the performance objectives. There are many assessment devices for formal and
Mhm.
informal, individual or group. Each device has advantages and limitations. Some are more useful to particular curriculum areas. Whatever the device, the lesson plan must always address the issue of the evaluation.
You for that. Let me see if I that you can see here. Let me see if I uh-huh. Part. In most of your lesson, I can see that you don't taking an account the evaluation, okay? You're supposed to. During, okay, the introductory part, you should have like a diagnostic. Also during, you have to have a formatting one, and the closing you could be have a summative one too, okay? Mm. Okay, let's go to our Padlet. Okay, today I'm going to start the lesson plan with Caris. Caris?
Yes.
Mhm. Are you ready for that?
Yes, I think I am.
You're honest. Okay, let me close this window. Mhm. Yes. Okay, let me look for your work. That is wait. Let's look for your work. Mhm. Nice.
It's the one in red.
In red,
Yes.
you put it as a comment?
No.
No. Okay. Let me look for it. I cannot find it. Okay, wait a moment. Let me going to do something here. Okay. Oh, yes. It's a way though. You tell me.
Yes, let me check.
In red. Very.
You're close to it. Can you move up? Yeah. Activity number 4 on the left.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Teacher, I think I'm missing the first, the cognitive diagnostic, I think.
Okay.
Now that you mention it. So this is my lesson plan, exploring the natural world, topic animals, key learning areas, speaking, listening, reading, and writing. This is for 6th grade. General objective, students will students will explore the diversity of animals, their habitats and characteristics while developing integrate language skills. Specific in listening, students will recognize and identify animal and their sounds through listening activities. Speaking, students will participate in a discussion about their favorite animal and share interesting facts. Reading, a student will read and understand a short text about animal and answer comprehension questions. Writing, students will write a short descriptive paragraph about their favorite animal. So key vocabulary, I include domestic, wild, aquatic, and birds animals, dog, cat, giraffe, turtle, parrot, lobster. So I create a mix of animals.
Okay.
On the stage opening activities, sing along warm up will be play Old MacDonald Had a Farm. The Wiggles version encourage students to sing and identify animals. Vocabulary, display flashcard and ask questions. What animal is this? What sound does it make? The brainstorm, which animals live on the farm, in the jungle, in the ocean, etc. So I have the evaluation criteria will be participate in a song and discussion, identify at least four animals orally so they can express the animals, share prior knowledge using simple vocabulary. So it will take around 10 minutes. Development. Uh, in the development stage will be listening. Listen to a short description. Example, it has a stripe, it runs fast, and guess the animal. Reading. Read a short informational text about animals. Highlight key facts like habitat, diet, appearance, and type. Speaking in pairs, describe an animal using prompts like, for example, it lives in, and they have to answer. It
Yeah.
eats, and then they will have to answer. They will be speaking. Writing, write a short paragraph, 4 to 5 sentences describing your favorite animal. Use sentences, starters, and linking words like and, but, because. So on the formative assessment, teacher walks around, observes students' participation, and checks vocabulary usage and sentence constructions. And then on the other side, you have the evaluation criteria, expresses ideas, write a descriptive paragraph, demonstrate progress during interaction and writing. It will take around 25 minutes. For closing, animal charades game. One student mimics an animal and the classmate guess. Review, go over vocabulary, and ask comprehension questions about the reading. Uses vocabulary, that would be the evaluation criteria. Uses vocabulary, answer questions, applies vocabulary. It will take around 10 minutes.
Okay.
Uh,
The stage
Also,
opening.
we will have the exit ticket. Draw and describe an animal from the lesson.
Like that part.
Yeah, sentences. Summative activity, students complete a mini booklet titled My Animal Fact Book. It will include drawing and fact like name, habitat, or diet description. Uh, it will be handed for evaluation.
Okay.
So notes for each state. For opening, aim to activate prior knowledge, generate interest in the topic, that use visual to make it engaging. In development, this is the core of the lesson. Integrating different language skills ensure that students are working collaboratively and applying what they have learned. Closing, reinforce learning and assess understanding. This stage helps students reflect on what they learn and provide an opportunity for intermediate feedback. Materials and resources, classroom materials, animal flashcard, chart, paper, whiteboard, printed short reading text, learning script or audio, recording, worksheets for matching, paragraph writes, paragraph reading, color pencil, digital or audio. It will be YouTube for the song or McDonald's or any audio player or speaker for the listening activity and the reflection. These lessons successfully integrate learning, speaking, reading, and writing skill in a fun and engaging way. Solutions were active and motivated, especially during the song and guessing game. The activities support vocabulary development and allow them to express the ideas clearly. So that would be my
Okay.
lesson plan.
Nice job. You're only missing your evaluation.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay. Well done.
Okay.
Okay. Anthony Núñez.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm looking for your work.
Just right there, above the
And
green one,
then
next to the green one.
this one.
No, above.
Let me see.
The white one. Yep.
Antonio.
Besides,
This one.
no, that's the rubric. It is next to the rubric. There.
Okay. Antonio. Okay, Anthony. Go ahead.
Okay, good morning, professor and classmate. I'm going to present my final lesson plan. For this topic, I decided to mix something that we know in this digital era to introduce to the little kids, and they can share their opinions and improve their language skills in English. I call it
Yes.
decoding emojis in digital communication, which is the lesson objective. Students will be able to interpret and express digital messages using emojis by translating
Mhm.
emoji-based communication into full English sentences, categorizing emojis by function, and creating original emoji conversations to enhance vocabulary, reading comprehension, and expressing writing skills, which is the content. Identify the meaning and category of emojis like emotion, object, and action. Translate the emoji-based messages into full English sentences. Create meaningful conversations using emojis and combine it with proper English structure. Reflect on how digital languages affect tone, clarity, and intention in communication. Key vocabulary, word or phrase and the definition, like emoji, expression, translate, interpret, conversation, tone, message, symbol, meaning, and communication. Let's go with the stage of the lesson. For the opening, I will take 10 minutes and I will present then a short video about how society has changed in the social media and how that developed our communication system. That video consists that this is not the first time that we see emojis, because we can take as an example the society of Egypt, where they write and draw symbols like uh, their language, and now we are knowing like the language of the what are they talking in the past. Then we are going to take the emoji icebreaker. In pairs, students guess meaning of strange or confusing emojis. The participation, willingness to guess, and the vocabulary recall. This is the criteria I will evaluate for the opening. For the development of, I will take 25 minutes. First, we'll talk about the emoji dialogue translation. Small groups rewrite a full emoji, only chat info into clear English. Second, emoji roleplay. A student receives a short emoji prompt and improvise a conversation based off its meaning. Third, emoji sort challenge. Sort emojis into categories like emotion, action, object, and justify the choices. Accuracy in interpretation, teamwork, creativity, and thinking, and relevant vocabulary as a criteria. Closing, I will take 10 minutes. Students create their own emoji conversation and present them alongside a full English version. Creativity, grammar, clarity in message, and delivery is the criteria for this closing activity. So, the assessment for the lesson will be diagnostic, formative, and summative. At the beginning, during the emoji icebreaker, student gets emoji meaning, which is the purpose to assess prior knowledge of emoji meanings and vocabulary. The formative, during development activities, group translation, role plays, categorization, which is the purpose to monitor understanding, guide feedback, and observe communication skills. Summative, at the closing stage when students create and present their own emoji conversation in English, which is the purpose to evaluate vocabulary use, grammar, creativity, and clarity in a complete performance task. This,
Excellent.
this is the resources material I will use. Printing emoji cards, like, but not the common one. I will use the uncommon emojis, like they had to use their imagination,
Oh
Slide
yeah.
or printing
Okay.
examples of emoji only conversation, like WhatsApp style or short or chat format. Let's say a student, you use a lot of the cell phone. Okay, now I want to see your knowledge.
Yes.
Markers and poster paper for the sorting tags, projector or board to show emojis conversation to the class. And optional, this is an emoji keyword, website, app, or in print emoji sheets in case that we have a projector. And that will be all. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
I like it. Okay. Let me see here. Mileika.
Yes, Professor.
Catherine. Let me look for yours. Taris. Shirley. Eris. Daniel. Mileika, where is yours?
Yeah, I'm looking for it as well.
Marelis, I have your smarty what?
Oh, I think I haven't uploaded this one. I uploaded the rubric, I guess. Let me check.
Mileika, right now? Yes, the work from last week.
It's a purple, Professor.
Purple?
Yes, it's a purple one.
Paris.
At the top of the Padlet, I mean at the bottom of the Padlet. At the bottom of the Padlet.
This one?
Yep, that's mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Professor, good morning.
Good
The
morning.
activity that I prepared for using all the stages of a lesson and the integrated skills, it is about the solar system. I'm not used to teach things about science, but I really like this topic, so I choose this one to to make my lesson plan. This
Okay,
is the target students for this lesson plan is sixth grade. The estimated time it is 45 to 15 minutes. And as I said before, the topic is the solar system. And I integrated listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities for this one. The general objective is to develop students' language skills through the exploration of vocabulary and content related to the solar system. The specific objectives, they are going to identify and name the planets in the solar system using appropriate vocabulary. They are going to understand and extract basic information about the solar system from a short video or reading text that I'm going to show them later. They're going to describe a planet using simple descriptive sentences. They're going to express personal opinions orally and in writing about their favorite planet, because all of us have a favorite planet, at least I think so. They are going to work cooperate, share information, and present to others using complete sentences. Now, the activities. For the warm up, I'm going to ask just a simple question like, what do you know about the planets? This is they are going to make like a brainstorming with everything related to the planets. and I'm going to provide them just like 5 minutes to do that. Then the pre-activity or the opening, I'm going to show them an image or video of the solar system without names. So using our prior knowledge, like with the previous question, like what do you know about the planets, they're going to ask to answer me. I'm going to elicit each planet's name, my key vocabulary, like how they orbit, the rings, the moon, the sites, etc. The wild activity or the development, they're going to practice language in context and develop integrated skills. I am going to provide 25 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast they're working.
Yeah.
I have a listening task for them. Students are going to listen to a short video related to the solar system, and I'm going to provide them a comprehension task. They are going to match planets with real facts. They're going to fill and share with basic information, and they're going to order or sort the planets from sun and in the proper order. For the speaking test, they are going to make a pair or group work where each student gets a planet and presents it using 2 to 3 facts, the ones that we learned from the video, the facts. So I'm going to check if they were really paying attention. For example, they are going to say, we are in Neptune.
Yeah.
They're going to be working in groups. Like, we are in Neptune, we are blue, we are the farthest from the sun. And probably the rest of the students, they can guess which planet are they talking about. For the writing task, students are going to write a short paragraph, nothing too difficult, and saying like, my favorite planet, it's Earth. I like it because, and something like that. And I'm going to encourage them to use new vocabulary and sentence starters. And of course, for the skill focus is reading, listening, speaking, and writing. For the post activity, my objective is I want them to review and reflect what they were learning. So I'm going to provide them a quiz style, like just 3 to 5 quick questions about the planets, nothing too difficult. And I'm going to be like really, really firm with the reflection question. Everyone should answer this one. What did you learn to date about space? And optional, the exit ticket, nothing too difficult. Each student writes one thing they learned and something that they like the most from the lesson. And to wrap up, they're going to draw and label the solar system and write 3 sentences about the planet using words like orbit, rings, something that we learned before. For the assessment, my activity, my listening activity, it is the worksheet that I'm going to provide them. They put in order the planets, that would be the formative one. And the speaking activity is the planet presentation cards. For the resources and materials, I have the visual aid for the development. There is a poster projection that I'm going to show them. And here I included the links of the videos so they can use them before. And the vocabulary matching cards, it is this one at the bottom of the planning. They have the planet and the fact, the ones that they should say it while working in groups. Like, for example, Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Venus is the hottest planet. Earth is our home planet. Mars is the red planet. Jupiter is the large planet. Saturn has been rings. And Uranus is spinning on its side. And Neptune, fastest planet from the sun. And that would be all.
Let me see if it got open your reader.
There's that video from the last.
Our solar system is one of over 500 known solar systems in the entire Milky Way galaxy. The solar system came into being about 4.5 billion years ago when a cloud of interstellar gas and dust collapsed, resulting in a solar nebula, a swirling disk of material that collided to form the solar system. The solar system is located in the Milky Way's Orion star cluster. Only 15% of stars in the galaxy host planetary systems, and one of those stars is our own sun. Revolving around the sun are 8 planets. The planets are divided into 2 categories based on their composition: terrestrial and Jovian. Terrestrial planets, including Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are primarily made of rocky material. Their surfaces are solid, they don't have ring systems, they have very few or no moons, and they are relatively small. The smallest and closest to the sun is Mercury, which has the shortest orbit in the solar system at about 3 Earth months. Venus is the hottest planet, with temperatures of up to 867 degrees Fahrenheit due to an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and extensive lava flows. Next to this world of fire is a world of water, Earth. The water systems on this planet help create the only known environment in the universe capable of sustaining life. The last of the terrestrial planets, Mars, might have also supported life about 3.7 billion years ago, when the planet had a watery surface and moist atmosphere. Beyond the 4 terrestrial planets of the inner solar system lie the Jovian planets of the outer solar system. The Jovian planets include gas giants Jupiter and Saturn, and ice giants Uranus and Neptune. The gas giants are predominantly made of helium and hydrogen, and the ice giants also contain rock, ice, and a liquid mixture of water, methane, and ammonia. All 4 Jovian planets have multiple moons, sport ring systems, have no solid surface, and are immense. The largest Jovian is also the largest planet in the solar system, Jupiter. Nearby is Saturn, the solar system's second largest planet. Its signature rings are wide enough to fit between Earth and the Moon, but are barely a kilometer thick. Past Saturn are the ice giants Uranus and Neptune. The slightly bigger of these ice giants, Uranus, is famous for rotating on its side. Next to Uranus is Neptune, the outermost planet in the solar system and also one of the coldest. Orbiting the terrestrial planets is the asteroid belt, a flat disk of rocky objects full of remnants from the solar system's formation, from microscopic dust particles to the largest known object, the dwarf planet Ceres. Another disk of space debris lies much further out and orbits the Jovian planets, the icy Kuiper belt. Apart from asteroids, the Kuiper belt is also home to dwarf planets such as Pluto and is the birthplace of many comets. Beyond the Kuiper belt is the Oort cloud, a vast spherical collection of icy debris. It is considered the edge of the solar system since that is where the gravitational and physical influences of the sun end. Our solar system's particular configuration of planets and other celestial objects, all revolving around a life-giving star, make it a special place to call home.
Okay, I continue with Anel. Anel?
Can you hear me, Professor?
Yes, I can listen to you.
Okay. I am
Let
at
me
the
look.
right button. And green.
Green?
Green, yes.
Wait, English. This one?
Let me see, Professor. I can see very. Oh, my goodness.
This one?
Weekly
Yeah.
lesson plan. No, this is the first one. No, it's at the bottom, Professor.
You say
Right
yellow.
button. Right button.
In yellow?
No, in green. Continue, Professor, at the end, at the end.
This one?
No, at the end. Are your left, I mean. It's close, close.
The rubric is here. Let me see.
Continue.
This one.
Continue.
Yep.
Final planning. The one that said final planning. No. Down. Down. That is that one.
Thank you.
Okay, Professor, good morning to you and all my classmates. Okay, this is the lesson planning I prepared for this week with a very trendy topic, which is digital life, navigating social media wisely. This lesson is created to 10 graders from high school. The general objective is to demonstrate the ability to understand and respond to everyday digital communication in English, including posts, comments, and messages, by applying listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills in context through real-life social media scenarios in order to build fluency, emotional intelligence, and critical thinking while expressing themselves naturally and meaningfully in EFL's context. In this lesson, the student analyzes social media messages to identify the tone, intent, and impact of the message. Practices expressing opinion, giving advice, and discussing pros and cons. Write short text offering guidance on responsible social media use, and develops listening comprehension through real-life digital scenarios. My content, reading and analyzing short social media posts and comments. Role plays stimulating online conversation and digital dilemmas. Writing a peer advice blog entry or digital etiquette poster. And listening to a postcard clip or digital wellness and summarizing key points. The key vocabulary: advice, comment, conflict, digital footprint, empathy, influence, platform, post, privacy, reputation, resolution, and tone. Okay, this is my lesson plan for the week. Remember, the formative, diagnostic, and summative activities are included in the plan. In my opening activity, the introductory, there will be a brainstorm, and the student will answer the question, what the best thing and worst thing about social media. Here, they are going to explain their point of view.
This is the worst.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Okay, the evaluation criteria is participation and co-evaluation. For the class, I have here my formative and diagnostic activities. They are going to read a reading selection based on the topic. They are going to listen to different short posts related to the topic, analyze the post, and express his opinion based on the blog. Identify the tone and intention about how a message is communicated and why it was written. It is good, it was offensive, or not. And finally, they are going to use the verbal language to respond and misunderstood situation online or comment. Here, the evaluation criteria is the oral fluency, reasoning, collaboration, and teamwork. And finally, for the close activity, they are going to present an exit ticket in which they are going to write one tip for safer online interaction. Okay, here the evaluation will be the grammar, spelling, and participation. The summative activity for another day. In that day, the student will create a poster or a blog. And the title is 5 Golden Rules for Social Media. They have to create their 5 golden rules for social media. And then they are going to present their poster in class. Here, the poster will be evaluated through clarity, creativity, relevance, grammar, spelling. The evaluate will be a co-evaluation. And finally, they will use an evaluation rubric will be used.
Okay.
The instruments, rubrics, writing production checklist, peer review form, and listening comprehension questions. Resources, a postcards, how social media affect our mental health.
Yeah. Really?
There will be sample from Instagram posts and comments, color marker, poster paper, role play cards and expression bank, and computer or tablets that will be optional. And here I have a final reflection. This lesson empowered 10 graders to use English meaningfully while analyzing the tone and impact of online messages. Students practice expressing opinions, giving advice, and applying emotional intelligence in real-life digital scenarios. Through collaborative role plays, creative writing, and listening tasks, they strengthened all four language skills. The final poster and blog entries showcase their growth in empathy, clarity, and responsible communication. That is
Excellent.
my lesson planning, Professor.
Good job. Good
Thank you.
job. Excellent. Okay. Thank you, Anna. Dios Mari. Dios Mari. Dios Mari Santos. Dios Mari. Diana. Marelis. Diana. Okay, let me look for your work now.
Oye, envío tratando de conectarme. Y que está frisada la computadora.
Diana, this is your work?
Teacher. Okay, sorry teacher for being late. Yes, teacher. You can hear me, teacher?
Okay. Yes, you can start, okay?
Okay.
Diana.
Sorry. Okay. Teacher, I have problem with my internet.
Oh.
It's frozen.
Yeah? Okay, you tell me if you can start or
Teacher, give the opportunity to all students because my internet is not good here.
Okay, well.
Because it was raining all the night, teacher.
Let me see, Fred. Let me see. Dios Mari.
Okay, let me try.
I will call you at the end, okay?
Yes.
Diane, I will call you at the end, okay?
Professor, Marelis.
Marelis? Okay. This is your lesson, Marelis, from last week, huh?
Yes.
Let me look for the other one. It's good.
Well, the lesson objective is by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to understand the use of simple
Wait a
present
moment,
tense.
Marelis. I cannot find your work. Wait. Is this one?
No.
This is the rubric. Okay, let me look for your work.
Well, says already.
Anthony, Ferry. Marelis
It's about the
Santana.
rubric.
No, the lesson plan. I'm looking for your work.
It's the stages.
What colors?
Stages of a lesson. White.
This one?
Yes, professor.
Okay, we can start. It's okay. You can begin, Marelis.
Okay, the topic is simple present, but I forgot to fix the topic there. Well, the lesson objective is by the end of the lesson, the students will be able to understand and use the simple present tense in affirmative, negative, and interrogative form, integrating listening, speaking, reading, and writing skill. So the introductory activity, the objective is active prior knowledge, introduce the topic and engage the student. So the first thing that we're gonna do is listen and speaking. This is gonna be a warm-up discussion about the topic. I will ask the student, what do you do every day? They have to write their answer on the board. For example, I eat breakfast, I go to school, and later play a short audio clip, for example, daily routine description, and ask comprehension questions, reading quick recognition, display sentence in simple present tense. For example, she works at the hospital she works at the hospital, and ask a student to identify the verb. Highlight the structure, for example, subject plus verb. S is for third person, singular, that other rules for the third person. So during the class, the activity is gonna be listening and speaking, controlled practice, play a dialogue. For example, two people discussing their daily habits. The students listen and note down verbs in the simple present. In pairs, the student asks and answers question using the tense. For example, do you drink coffee? So they have to answer, yes, I do, or not, I don't. Reading and writing, in this moment, they're going to practice grammar.
Yeah.
They have to give a short paragraph about someone's routine. For example, Maria wakes up at 7 a.m. She brushes her teeth, etc. So the students read and underline verbs in the simple present. Writing tasks, the students write 5 sentences about their own daily routine, affirmative and negative. So in the speaking, they're going to free a practice a role play.
Yeah.
In pairs, the students pretend to be interviewers and celebrities, asking and answering questions in simple present. One of the examples is, where do you live? And they have to answer, well, I live in New York. So in the closing activities, they will have a writing and speaking ticket. The students will write 3 sentences, one about themselves, for example, I play soccer, one about a family member, for example, my mom cooks dinner, and one question, example, do you like music? So they're going to be volunteers. They share their sentences with the class. They're going to play a game, for example, listening and speaking, 2 truth and 1 lie. Each student say 3 statements in simple present, 2 will be true and 1 false. The class guess the lie. So for homework, they will write a short paragraph, 5 or 6 sentences about the friends or family members' daily routine. That's it.
Okay, Mareris. Let me see. Yamari. Mari. Bárbara. Shirley.
Yes, I'm ready.
This one is yours, Shirley.
My yes, that one.
Okay. Shirley.
Okay. First of all, good morning.
Hi, Shirley.
I'm going to present my lesson plan. The topic for this is travel and tourism. The learning objectives are identify and use vocabulary related to the topic, tourism and travel experiences, and express opinions and ideas about travel preferences in oral and written form. Next to that, the vocabulary, you can see the words, tourist attractions, words or phrases, local cuisine, guide tour, cultural experience, landmark, itinerary, accommodation, budget, backpacking, souvenir, travel tip. Okay, now I'm going to explain the stages. In the opening, I include for that as an activity to show images of famous destinations. You can see the examples in there, Eiffel
Yeah.
Tower, Great Walls, and
Diagnosticada.
others. Yeah. And in there, they are going to have like a discussion, answering the question, which of these places would you like to visit and why? They can work in pairs or in groups. And in addition to that, they are going to have like the introduction of the vocabulary. In here, the teacher is going to present the target vocabulary, the words and phrases that I already mentioned, and it's going to be with images and examples. Also, they are going to practice pronunciation and the meaning. And in this same uh, stage, the teacher is going to have the diagnostic activity. The teacher is going to check students' prior knowledge of travel vocabulary and ability to describe travel experiences. Okay, now in the next stage, development. And the first activity I include is reading. In here, they are going to have a text, a travel blog named Why I Fell in Love with Lisbon. This is the text they are going to use. And
Okay.
with that, they are going to um, have the task, which is going to be read and answer comprehension questions, and they can have multiple choice or short answers. And the skills focus of that is they are going to read for specific details. About the listening task, they are going to have an audio, which is going to be an interview with a tourist who visit Thailand. With that audio, they are going to predict uh, what do you think a tourist might love about Thailand. After listening to the audio, they are going to have like a round of answering questions about what the tourist mentioned in that audio. And the skill focus in this is that they have to listen for main ideas and details. The next one, speaking. The activity is going to be in pairs. They are going to plan a 3-day trip to any city or country. They will have to include what to see or what to do, where to eat, why it's worth visiting. And they also have to use the target vocabulary in that plan and share idea with the class. And finally, the writing task. The activity is going to be write a short travel recommendation, uh, 4 or 5 sentences for a place in our country. They are going to use at least 3 new vocabulary words. This is going to be the written task. And finally, in the closing stage, um, volunteers can read their travel paragraph out loud, that the same paragraph that they uh, wrote about the recommendation, travel recommendation. And this is going to be the summative activity, the paragraph, and that they have to read it. And I forgot to mention the formative activity, which is going to be a general checklist. The teacher is going to check if if the students are using the vocabulary, if they are working in groups, and the participation. And finally, the materials needed: flashcards, audio files, uh, the printed reading activity, the text, sorry, and worksheets for reading and listening task. And to end, I wrote the safety considerations for this plan. Ensure that students are respectful and sensitive when discussing travel to different countries and cultures. Avoid stereotypes or offensive remarks. Also, if the students are from diverse backgrounds, remind them to listen without judgment when others describe destination. And finally, use teacher-approved links. It can be YouTube clips, audio files, articles, but they have to be appropriate for the age group. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. Charlie. We go. Let me see. Charlie. Ready?
Yeah, Professor, I'm here.
I'm not for you. I think I saw your work.
This is there. Yeah, brother. This one.
This one? Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to start saying that about my activity. This is about second trimester. The study of
Mm-hmm.
English. Week hours are 6 per week. And topic daily routines that are goes for. Key learning area, gain practice in listening, speaking, reading, and writing through engaging the varied activity related to, daily routines. Topic daily routine, lesson on some activities idea. Use visual aid, imagines, then have reinforced vocabulary, incorporate technology, use audio recording or videos showing daily routine. Start with a simple vocabulary, a sentence a structure, gradually increasing the complexity. Lesson objectives: practice integrate language skill, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Use vocabulary related to daily routines. Promote confidence in describing personal habits and daily activities. Content and overview. Focus on daily routine vocabulary, present simple and tense with time expressions. Develop understanding through different input and output activities. Um, Key vocabulary: wake up, brush teeth, have a breakfast, go to school or go to work, lunch, homework, relax, evening, usually, always, sometimes, and never. Uh, Lesson structure and table. I'm going to start with the stage opening, time 10 minutes, activities, grading attendance, show picture of the daily activities to introduce the topic, ask one normal question. For example, what do you do in the morning? Introduce the key vocabulary with images. Skill focus, speaking and listening. evaluation criteria. Students respond actively, recall vocabulary, and evaluation, teacher observation, and participation. Development, 25 minutes of listening and play audio of the dialogue about daily routines. Reading a student, read short passages on daily routine, and speaking pair or group discussion about their own routines. Writing at 5 sentences describing their routines, and in skill focus, listening, reading, and speaking and writing. In evaluation, use target vocabulary, correct sentence, structure, and participation. In evaluation, word sample, oral response, and checklist. In closing, 10 minutes. Activities will be vocabulary recap, say or write new words, exit ticket, write 3 daily activities learning, class reflection, share one thing learned today, and skills, speaking, writing, and listening. In evaluation, record and correct use of the vocabulary active participation. Evaluation, write, exit ticket, verbal sharing. And closing activity, vocabulary code, discussion studying orally or write or in writing record new vocabulary, expected correct pronunciation and retention, and activity exit tickets, student write 3 action and sentences about daily routines, expected demonstrate understanding and writing accuracy, and class reflection, students share verbal what they learn or like about class, participation, and meaningful feedback. And resource, audio recording about daily routine, for example, dialogue or story, description to provide listening practice on daily routines, notes, ensure clear audio about engaged content, printed art or digital reading passages, and to support reading comprehension and daily routines. And notes adapt difficult to student level, visual eye picture or flashcards showing routine activities, to visual reinforce vocabulary and concepts, and note use colorful and clear images. Student notebooks for a student to write and practice activities, include guide, exercise, a space for notes, and the reflection which activity engaged the student most. Did the student demonstrate use of the new vocabulary and structure? What part or require revision or more reinforcement? And which the student might need additional support? That is all, Professor. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you. Get it forward. Let me see. Jailin.
Let me a second, please, teacher.
Okay. And Hector.
Yes, Professor.
So you can start yours. Okay.
Okay, so for my lesson plan, I chose comparative and superlatives adjectives. I chose the topic of adjectives because it can be a very it's a perfect opportunity to show students how to make comparisons and how to make superlatives, like how to compare one thing to another or even more things. Date from August 3rd to August 7th. The key learning skills are listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And the year level is 11th grade. The key vocabulary is pretty much generic, not generic, but general adjectives that describe anybody or anything, like big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest, short, shorter, shortest, good, better, best, or bad, awful, worse, worst. Lesson objectives. For the listening aspect, identify comparative and superlative forms of adjectives when listening to short descriptions or facts. Reading. Recognize and underline comparative and superlative structures. in reading texts about people, places, or objects. Writing. Construct at least three correct comparative sentences and two correct superlative sentences on a chosen topic. And finally, speaking objectives. Use comparative and superlative forms to express your preferences, make comparisons, and present short ideas in group of discussions or presentations. Okay, now for the meat and potatoes, the lesson structure. For the beginning activities that will take around 10 to 15 minutes, it will be a warm-up discussion, which is better. The teacher shows pictures of pairs and groups of items on the board. For example, flashcards like car or a bike, city, countryside, mountains, or beach. Students will work in pairs to quickly say which one they prefer using comparatives. For example, cars are faster than bikes, but bikes are, for example, cooler looking than cars per se. And the teacher might ask a few students to share their own sentences out loud. Basically, this activity will have both listening and speaking. For development activities, the middle, it will take around 35 minutes or 40, depending on. Practice and apply comparatives and superlatives adjectives through integrated skills. Teacher plays short audio or reads aloud about world records. For example, the Mount Everest is the highest mountain. According to some sources, the Amazon River is longer than the Nile. Or the cheetah is the fastest animal alive. Students will listen without notes. What this means is that they won't be some students won't be given a text unless they are seriously struggling, but they will take mostly notes, sort of like I did last week. Lesson plan, because I do believe that we should encourage students to keep notes on their notebooks, but not necessarily copy and paste what we are saying, but just like the keywords, key aspects, because that's way that's for me it's much better to just memorize a whole paragraph. It's better to just take apart what a small sentence or
Yeah.
or a keyword. It's way easier and it sticks on your brain more. Also, students highlight all comparatives and superlatives in the text. This will include the listening skill, writing skill, and the taking notes, and the reading. Identifying the grammar in context, which is the highlighting the comparatives and superlatives.
Mhm.
And finally, for the closing activities, we have a quiz show. The teacher will prepare for at the end of the class quick quiz questions. Example: which is taller, the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty? Or what's the coolest place on Earth? Students will answer individually or in pairs, and the teacher will at the end review and correct answers. As for the resources are the short audio about the Mount Everest is a high mountain, the comparisons, and uses slides, the computer, audio, and videos provided by the teacher related to the topic, and worksheets to develop in class. I forgot to add the flashcards that are included in the first part in the beginning of the beginning activity, and that will be it.
References. Fine. Very good. Good job. Perfecto.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, let me see. Is okay, people. We're going to take a break.
I'm ready to.
When we come back for the break time, Diana. Okay. We're going to take a 15 minutes break. When we come back, we already will finish, okay?
Okay.
Okay, people, we back.
Teacher, I'm going to present my final lesson, please.
Maybe please, yeah. Gaby. Okay.
Yes, Professor.
Let me see if I find yours. Okay, let's go ahead. Look for it. Again.
A little difficult to find me.
What color? White? That's basis. Big, Anthony, Barbara, Fred, Miss Davis. Me? No, that's interpersonal. No, this one last week. I'm looking for John. What color?
Igris, let me tell you. X.
Gaby, sweeter.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, give me a moment, please. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Professor Dana Vernon. It's a pleasure to be here with you and could present my final lesson. Well, the course is Professional Practice with You. The facilitator, your name is, Dana Vernon. It's a pleasure. My name is Eileen Suira, and, I'm going to start. I choose the ninth grade for do this lesson planner and to 15 days. Well, trimester, second one, week hour, 4 hours per week. The subject, of course, English. Tonight topic, infirmary questions, present perfect, and simple present. I did this example. This is big one. It is an example of of a lesson planner where has been losing cases for a couple of days.
Yeah.
For a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Well, the date from August 4 to August 15. As a lesson objective, I could say by the end of the lesson, students will be able to form and answer double questions using a appropriate word order in the simple present and present perfect tense. Second one, number 2, use the simple present to describe daily routines, facts, and general truths. Number 3, use the present perfect to tell the experience and actions that happened at and specific time in the past. Number 4, apply target vocabulary to create meaningful conversations and short texts about personal experience, habits, and general information. And in the content, for example, in the first chart, there we have W questions, preguntas informativas, structure as W agrees the following. The structure is the following: WH word plus auxiliary plus subject plus main verb plus complement. Examples as what did you eat for breakfast? Where have you traveled? WH works like the same ones. What, where, when, who, why, how many, how much, and which. Simple present use habits and routines. I wake up at 6 a.m. Journal tricks. The sunrise in the east. Schedule events. The bus leave at 7:30. Structure. Positive, for example, I play football. She plays football. Negative, I don't play football. She doesn't play football. Question, do you play football? Does she play football? And in the last one, chart with present perfect. For example, they use life experience, like I have pastry, Panama City, actions at a specific time. She has eaten sushi, action that started in the past and continue. I have lived here for 5 years. A structure like positive, I have seen that movie. Negative, I haven't seen that movie. Question, have you seen that movie? Well, the formula have has plus past participle. In the key vocabulary, I put on it the questions like what, where, when, who, why, how many, how much, and which. And of the simple present verb like eat, go, play, work, study, like, live, read, have, and speak. Present perfect verb like past participles been, gone, eaten, traveled, done, seen, visited, studied, played, work. Time expressions like every day, always, usually, sometimes, never, um, ever, never, already, yet, just, for, signs, and recently. Well, in the second one part, like the class moments, it could be in the introductory activities, for example, warm up game, find someone who it could be to do a worksheet where the students must ask cosmic questions. For example, do you play soccer? In simple present, have you ever visited another country? In present perfect. And also, for example, my person, I could ask to them, and after answer and write examples on the board with review of WH words with a matching activity. And in the second one, well, this evaluation and criteria for these parts, it will be participation in the activity, correct use of question words, and auxiliary verb. The time for this moment, it will be 10 minutes. For during activities, the time to this space, it could be 15 minutes, and it could be the next one, the following information. Guided practice, and I could present a chart comparing simple present and present perfect question structures. They will do pair work. Students interview a partner using 5 simple present questions and 5 present perfect questions, writing down the answer. Board rates, for example, two teens compete to form correct question from prompts. For example, you ever eat sushi? Um, and they will order in a correct form. For example, have you ever eaten sushi? Criteria evaluation for these parts. Criteria evaluation for this part is the next one. It's the following: accuracy, affirming questions, correct tense election, pronunciation, and fluency when they speaking. Well, for the closing activities, the time it a little bit more than 20 minutes. It could be 13 or 15. Maybe it depends. It depends of the situation. I mean, well, in closing activities, I could say, for example, reflection circle.
Yeah.
Students share one fact they learn about their partner. For example, Maria plays volleyball every Saturday. She has traveled to Costa Rica. And the teacher review key vocabulary and grammar rules. Mini quiz, 5 quick questions mixing both tense and WA questions. And the criteria and evaluation is the following: competition of mini quiz with at least 17% accuracy, 70 accuracy percent, ability to give correct oral statements in front of. In materials and resources, they are, for example, flashcards, text instruction sheets, whiteboard and markers, rubric for evaluating text performance, basic activity, tablets, speaker devices. Well, this is a big presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my lady. Good job.
Thank you.
Teacher,
Professor,
I
can
can
I go
present.
next?
Bárbara?
Yes.
Gustavo
Ready?
next, teacher, please. Okay.
Okay. Gustavo Oces. Okay. Bárbara?
Okay. Let me open mine. Okay, my lesson plan is about analyzing arguments in To Kill a Mockingbird. This is a literature lesson, and it's for ninth graders. And the key learning area would be reading, writing, speaking, and listening. As the lesson objective, I have here the general objective, which is students will analyze and summarize persuasive arguments by identifying rhetorical techniques and evaluating logical structures in a literary text. Specific objectives, I have to define and recognize rhetorical appeals like ethos, pathos, and logos in a persuasive speech. Identify the main argument and supporting evidence in Atticus Finch closing statement. Summarize the argument using logical and sequential reasoning. And compare and contrast different arguments based on rhetorical techniques. And the content is elements of argumentation like claim, evidence, and reasoning, rhetorical appeals like ethos, pathos, and logos, themes of justice and moral growth, and summary writing based on textual analysis. As key vocabulary, I have argument, justice, ethos, credibility, pathos, emotion, logos, logic, rhetoric, equality, theme, and reason. The lesson structure. We will start with the pre-activities as a diagnostic activity. We will have a class discussion where they have to reflect on personal experiences persuading someone. The teacher introduces and defines argument, rhetoric, and the three appeals, which are ethos, pathos, and logos. The context setting, I'm going to introduce To Kill a Mockingbird and explain the relevance of Atticus' speech. They are going to be working on pages 132 and until 137. They are going to make predictions about the purpose and tone of the speech. As evaluation and criteria, the diagnostic will be observation and oral participation, where students attempt to define key terms, and they connect persuasion into personal experience. The while activities, we have closing, reading, and analysis. They will read the excerpt. They're not going to be reading the whole story, but an excerpt with of Atticus' closing speech silently. They are going to annotate examples of ethos, pathos, and logos, and they are going to define unknown words using dictionaries or context clues. They are going to do a group work for about 15 minutes in small groups. They are going to answer questions like, what is Atticus' main argument? How does he appeal to emotion, character, and logic? And what evidence does he use? They're going to fill in a chart organizing rhetorical elements with examples. For example, they are going to give like the main idea and then are going to give the examples. The evaluation is a formative checklist, which is accurately identifies the main idea, cites examples of rhetorical appeals. They're going to be like underlining those sites. They participate in groups analysis and writes a clear and a structured summary. Some of the sentence, wait a minute. Formative activity, argument, summary. They are going to write a short summary of Atticus' argument. So they're going to do a summary of the excerpt. They could use sentences frames like the main idea of the speech is Atticus uses tal to persuade the jury, or one example of pathos is blank. The post activity, it's going to be a reflection where they share the summaries. They discuss connections between Atticus' speech and themes like justice, equality, and racism. And as a homework, they are going to do a summative activity where they have to write a paragraph answering this question, like how does Atticus' closing argument reflect the noble's broader themes of justice and equality? They are going to include at least one example of each of the three appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos, and the paragraph must have a clear topic sentence, supporting evidence, and conclusion. The evaluation would be, a summative evaluation of writing using the rubric below. I'm going to show you later. And the resources are the books, the connection in English language art the reading To Kill a Mockingbird, the rhetorical appeals anchor chart, which I'm going to be providing, the group question handouts, the graphic organizers for ethos, pathos, and logos, projector, their student notebooks or the books, and a dictionary will be online reference. As a reflection, this lesson plan helps students build reading comprehension and argument analysis skills while connecting literature to real-world social issues. Through structured discussion, writing, and critical thinking, students engage with complex texts and improve their ability to understand and produce persuasive writing. And the evaluation criteria, which is the one from below. I'm going to be grading the argument summary, the use of the three appeals, ethos, pathos, and logos, the connection to theme, the structures and coherence, and of course, grammar and mechanics. And that will be all.
Oh, excellent. Good job.
Thank you, Professor.
Dania?
Me teacher remember.
Oses. Okay, let me see if I find this. Gustavo Oses. Mm,
Number 4.
Ustedes, Marelis, Gustavo, help me with yours.
I am checking teacher. Let me.
Freddy, Hector, Anel.
No, this is the rubric. No, that no.
The rubric. What color is yours?
No, it's white paper.
Okay, then go to the index then. There's a comment? No.
No. Yes.
Okay, let me see. Gustavo. Okay, you tell me if you find. Gustavo Oces? Yeah?
Number 4.
Gustavo Oces, number 2. This one?
Number 4. Yes.
I think it's this one.
Yes, exactly.
This one? Okay, Gustavo. Yes. Wow. Okay.
Good morning. Good morning, teacher Dana and classmate. Today I will present my final project lesson plan titled Science and Planet Protection. This lesson is intended for 6th grade students for English. And the purpose of this lesson is to develop student language skill while engaging them in meaningful discussion and reflection on environmental issues that affect our world. Lesson objective is by the end of the lesson, a student will be able to, in listening, identify main ideas and details from an audio or video about protecting the environment. In speaking, a student will express opinions about environmental issues and suggest solutions using key vocabulary. In reading, students will understand the main idea and supporting details in a short, adapted, and environmental text. And in writing, students will write simple and meaningful sentences or a paragraph proposing actions to protect the planet. In the content objective, understand the importance of caring for the environment and suggest actions they can take at home, at school, or in their community. The key vocabulary student will engage with words focused on the topic related, which will be introduced through flashcard, visual, and used throughout activities, and words like environment, pollution, recycle, reuse, reduce, trash, garbage, waste, lead, plastic, climate change, and global warming, deforestation, contamination, among them. No? This word will appear in reading text, listening text, speaking pronoun, and writing activity to reinforce understanding and practical uses. In my lesson structure, in the opening, in the warm-up, and introduction, it will take more or less 10 to 15 minutes. To begin the lesson, I will engage students by showing a set of pictures and flashcards illustrating environmental problem and solution. Example include a polluted river, a recycling bin, and solar panels, or a tree bin plant. I will guide in question like, what do you see in this picture, and what are some things people do that harm the earth? Is this good or bad for the planet? What can we do to help? And students will work in groups of 2 and share ideas. Then students will watch a short video, child-friendly video from National Geographic Kids or ESL YouTube video about protecting the earth. And these will activate their background knowledge and set the context for the topic. Student match work with definition or image in a mini quiz. In the development side and main activities, it will take 25 to 30 minutes. In listen activity, the student will listen a short video or video dialogue where people talk about things they do to protect the environment. They will complete a true or false or multiple choice task to check understanding. And speaking activity in prayer or small group, student will discuss questions like, what do you do at home to protect nature? What can people do to stop pollution? They will then perform a short role play. One student is a reporter and other adds a eco-friendly citizen giving tips.
Okay.
Reading activity, students will read a short adapted text titled, Why Should We Protect the Earth? They will underline vocabulary words from our list and answer simple comprehension questions. And the writing activity, finally, students will write 4 to 5 sentences or a short paragraph suggesting actions to protect the earth. Example, I recycle bottles and cans. We should plant trees to make clean air. I turn off the light to save energy. Students will use connectors like and, because, and but to improve fluency and coherence. And the closings, it will take 10 to 15 minutes. To the end of lesson, a student will present their writing or create a simple poster titled My Green Action Plan. And each student will share one idea they can apply in real life to protect the environment. They will create a short Kahoot quiz, review games for the days, and celebrate learning. And then I will conclude by asking reflection questions like, what do you learn today? What will you start doing to help the earth? The resources uses are audio clips, video, infographic, flashcard, notebook, computers, and whiteboard. In conclusion and summary, this lesson helps sixth grade students to improve their English language and skill through meaningful activities related to the real world challenge. It encourages them to think critically and use language with purpose.
Okay.
On their responsibility to protect the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Excellent. Good job, people. Excellent. Let me see. Cindy? Cindy.
Yes, Professor, I'm here.
Let me
Okay.
look.
It's color yellow, Professor.
Cindy. Let me see. Color yellow. Let me look for yours. Yeah. Maybe. It went? No, mother. Because it's so close that we. Okay. Okay, Sandy. Let me see. It's a way don't supposed to, okay? Charlie. Manelis. Diana. Cindy TV. This one?
Yes, visiting places is the topic.
Okay, okay. This is it. Cindy.
Okay, I'm going to present my lesson plan about visiting places. My lesson objective are general, to help students communicate and describe past experience using past simple tense with a focus on correct grammar and pronunciation. A specific objective, students will use regular and irregular past simple verbs to talk and write about places they have visited. Students will correctly pronounce regular past tense ed endings using the t, d, and it sound. Content, grammar focus, past simple tense, regular and irregular verbs like visited, traveled, went, saw, ate, stayed. Pronunciation focus, ed endings, t as in talked, what, d as in played, cleaned, it as visited, and wanted. Vocabulary is the same, the different verbs. Introductory activities. My warm-up is about conversation with question. like, have you ever visited a new place, or where did you go on your last vacation? The teacher shows a few pictures of famous places and asks students where they are and if they've been there. The teacher asks some past tense verbs as students answer right in on the board in past form. Evaluation type, formative, criteria, participate in discussion, attempts to use past simple tense, even with errors. Identify familiar verbs thoroughly, respond with relevance to the topic. During activities, reading and vocabulary, teacher gives a short text or dialogue about someone describing a trip. For example, last weekend, I visited Panama City and so on. Students underline past tense verbs and highlight places mentioned. Identify regular and irregular verbs. About grammar and pronunciation practice. So regular verbs into 3 groups based on their pronunciation, T, D, and it. Practice saying the verbs aloud as a class. Use a quick TPR or matching game for sound. For example, stand up for t sound, clap for the sound, and sit for it sound. Speaking and reading tasks. Speaking in pairs or small groups, students take turns describing a trip they took using 5 to 6 past 10 verbs. Reading, students write a short paragraph titled My Favorite Trip using past simple verb and at least 3 regular and 3 irregular verbs. Criteria in this section, formative, identifies and uses past tense verb correctly, pronounces ed endings with growing accuracy, communicates ideas clearly in speech or reading, complete the task using vocabulary from the lesson, and the last part, closing activity, review some student answer or reading text. Volunteers can read theirs a lot, and quick exit quiz or game. If a teacher says a verb and students say the correct ed pronunciations. In this case, the evaluation is summative. Criteria, sentences is grammatically correct. For example, in past simple, correct regular and irregular form, accurate ed pronunciation, this is the spoken, and complete the sentences independently written. My resources are word picture cards of places and action verbs, a printed short written text or dialogue like this, my trip to the mountains, and pronunciation chart like this, and slides, print photos of famous places, board makers or projectors, small sheets of paper, speakers, optional, for pronunciation listening practice. Students' notebooks or worksheets for reading, flashcard verbs in base form and past form. Thank you. That's it.
You. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, Anthony Acosta.
Yes, Professor.
Let me see.
My own is color green, and the table is orange.
Anthony José Duarte. Okay, this
Yes.
one. Okay.
Yes. Well, for my activity, I choose the topic, the family. Lesson objective. By the end of the lesson, student will be able to identify names and family members in a target language and describe their family using simple tense. Example, this is my mother, here is my father, brother, etc. Opening activities. Warm up and activation. Time 10 to 15 minutes. And goals engage students, activate prior knowledge, and introduce the topic. Activities. Visual prompt, listening and speaking. Show a picture of the family, example, the family tree or a cartoon family. Ask for the students, who do you see in this picture? How many people are there? What words do you know for family members?
Mhm.
Person and second activity, personal connection. Have a student turn to partner and say, tell me one thing about your family. Use L1 if need for beginners. And the other is some vocabulary preview, listening. Play a short family theme song, example, finger family. Your young learner or list key terms, mother, father, sister, etc. on the board. Development activities. For activities, time 25 to 30 minutes. Goals, practice and expand vocabulary structure and skill in context. Activity number one, vocabulary practice, reading and speaking. Matching game. Students match flashcard of family members to words or sentences like this is my grandfather. And the second one, TPR. So say family word example brother. A student point to the classmate with the brother or hold up a flashcard. Activity number two, listening comprehension, dialogue. Play a short audio of people describing their family. Example, my family is small, I have one sister. The students check off name they hear on a worksheet. A guide question asks, does Maria have a big family? How many brothers does one have? And the other ones. And activity number three, writing and speaking. Paid works. Family number one, family tree worksheet. The student fill
Mhm.
in names or draw their own family tree. And number two, interview. A student asks and answer question in pair. Example, do you have pets? What is your mother's name? And write down their partner's answers. And the closing activity, review and reflection. Time 10 to 15 minutes. Goals, consolidate learning and assess understanding. Activities, show and tell speaking. Volunteers share their family tree or describe a family member. Exit ticket, the student write one or two sentences about their family. And game recap, listening and speaking. Play who I am your mother, your sister, etc. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Good job. Okay. Catherine?
Here, my work is in purple. It says stages of a lesson.
Ready, Yale, Anton. Okay, I'm going to look for it in your mind. Okay, Catherine. Catherine. Mhm. Okay, let me find purple, you tell me, okay?
There it is. That one. Okay,
Catherine.
for my list, yes.
Oh.
I'm gonna start. For my lesson planning, I choose one of the skills,
Yeah.
speaking. And the general topic is going to be expressing opinions on
Mm-hmm.
everyday topics. The lesson objectives for this class are that the students will be able to express personal opinions clearly and confidently, response to others' viewpoints with basic argumentation strategies, and also to use an appropriate speaking structures and vocabulary for discussions. For the warm-up activity, or the like the first activity, this
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a diagnostic assessment. They are going to work in
Good.
pairs,
Mm-hmm.
and this activity is called "Would you rather?" questions. I especially like this question because it's going to make students think and also make difficult choices. So, an example questions that I add in the planning: I would you rather have super strength or fly? Would you rather eat only sweet or salty food forever? Would you rather live without your phone or without TV? Would you rather travel to the past or the future? And would you rather give up chocolate or pizza for a year? After working on this activity, in the during activity, we have a mini debate circles. This is going to be formative. They are going to form groups of 4 to 5 students, and each group is going to get a discussion card with a simple controversial topic, such as I choose these 3 topics. Summer vacation should be longer because I know the students are really interested in this topic. Students should not have homework, and school uniform should be mandatory. They are going to get in groups. They are going to assign the roles: who is going to be for, against, who's going to be the moderator, and the summarizer of the debate. After presenting preparing and presenting, sorry, their debate, I have the closing activity, which is a 1 minute speech. This is going to be the summative assessment. They are going to choose one of the topics that they discussed before, and they are going to present their final opinion. At the end, they will have the opportunity to present their opinion about the topics that they have been talking about during the class in a 60-second speech. Like it's like an impromptu speech, and this is gonna be fast. For the resources, we have, of course, the whiteboard. We need also the debate cards to assign the topics, a timer, because for all the activities, time will be set, and the rubric sheet that is below the planning. And that's all that I got for the lesson plan.
Okay. Excellent. Catherine. Okay. Good job, Catherine.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see, Diana. Dania.
Yes, I'm here, Dania.
Okay, let me look for your word, Dania. Wait a moment. Mhm.
Okay.
Dania.
Yes.
Okay, you tell me.
Yes.
Dania
This.
Aguirre? No.
Actividad
This
4.
one.
Actividad 4. The black one.
This one. Okay. Then.
Yes, okay. Good morning, professor and classmate, everybody. I am going to present my lesson plan. It's about, the topic is descriptive and comparative
Mhm.
adjective. It's for 5th grade, and it's in English grammar. The lesson objective. In general objective, by the end of the lesson, a student will be able to understand and use descriptive and adjective and their comparative forms to compare and contrast two objects, people, or ideas. In a specific objective, a student will be able to identify and use a variety of descriptive adjectives to describe a noun. Also, a student will be able to form a comparative adjective correctly, including one syllable, two or more syllable, and irregular forms. And a student will be able to construct grammatically correct sentences using comparative adjectives to compare two things. In the content, lesson plan, descriptive, and comparative adjective. This lesson plan designed for an integrated skill language class for focusing on descriptive and grammar comparative adjectives. The adjectives are structured to move from recognition and guide practice to free communicative use. In the vocabulary, I have a big, small, tall, short, fast, slow, old, and young. Okay, in the lesson structure, in the opening, in the time is like a 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, in the opening, the goal of this stage is to activate a student existing knowledge of adjective and introduce a concept of comparing things. In the warm-up activity, describe your favorite things. Ask the students to think of their favorite animal, food, or movie. Also, in pair, have them describe it using as many adjectives as they can. Example, my favorite animal is a dog. It's friendly, loyal, and sometimes is a little silly. Type. Call and few pairs to share their description with the class. In leading to comparative, show two different pictures of the same category, for example, two different cars or two different dogs. Ask the class what's the difference between these two. Elicit simple comparative statement from students like the red car is bigger or the brown dog is cuter. This sets the stage for the main lesson. And in the evaluation on criteria, identifying and using adjectives, a student can accurately use descriptive adjectives during the warm-ups and classroom comparison activities. This is for the opening. Then in the during activities or development, it's like in 30 and 40 minutes. Okay, this is the core of the lesson, where you will present the new grammar, provide control, practice, and allow for free communication. Presentation and skill, listening and speaking. Introduce descriptive adjectives, example, big, small, fast, slow, beautiful, good. Explain the formation of comparative adjectives. Use a chart on the board to illustrate the rules. One syllable adjective at ER, example, a tall, taller. One syllable adjective ending in a single vowel plus consonant. Double the consonant and add ER, example, big, bigger. Hot, hotter. Adjective with two or more syllables use more before the adjective. Example, expensive, more expensive. Beautiful, more beautiful. And irregular adjectives highlight common irregular forms like good, better, and bad, worse. In drill pronunciation of the new words and phrases, guided practice skills, reading and writing. Compare the pictures, worksheets, provide a worksheet with pairs of objects, example, an apple and watermelon, a bicycle and a car. A student writes sentences comparing the two objects using the comparative forms. Example, a watermelon is bigger than an apple. Information, job activity, pair students give partner a description of one of character of partner B, a description of another. They must ask each other questions to find the differences and similarities, writing down their answer using comparatives. For example, is John taller than Maria? An independent practice, skill writing and speaking. Classroom comparison activity. Have a student work in small group. They must compare 5 things in the classroom. Example, desks, books, bags, and write at least 5 sentences using different comparative adjectives. And a role play debate, give a student a prompt to debate such as which is better, pet or cat or dog, or which is more interesting, history or science. Students must use comparative adjectives to support their arguments. And in the closing activity, it's like in 5 to 10 minutes. This stage summarizes the key learning points and check for understanding. Exit ticket. On a
Yes.
small slip of paper, have a student write down 3 adjectives they learned today. For each one, they must write its comparative form and short sentences using it. And a review game, which is the teacher names 2 scenes, example lion and mouse, and a student quickly raise their hands and make a comparative sentence. Example, a lion is stronger than a mouse, or a mouse is smaller than a lion. This provides a final quick check of their ability to use comparative. And I bridge to next lesson. Mentioned in the next lesson, you will learn about to compare 3 or more scenes, which will introduce of concepts, superlative adjectives, and this creates anticipation for the next class. And in that resource, have whiteboard, markers, visual aids, worksheets, vocabulary, and a slip of paper. And in the materials, whiteboard, projector, markers, large sheets, drawing material, rulers, etc. And in the reflection, did the students miss the general and specific objective of the lesson? What evidence from the activities support this? Which activities were most engaging for the student? Which were least engaging? Were time duration for each sections, opening, develop, close, and appropriate, show, or any be adjusted? What were the most common mistakes students made and how can lesson be modified in the future address them? Or how can this lesson be adapted from students with different learning style or proficiency levels? And what will I do differently the next time in the lessons? So thank you. This is my lesson planning.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, people, we are in the presentation. So today we're going to start our final exam. Let me see if I can. Yes. Yeah. I know that's final exam. Final test. So,
I'm missing for present my
lesson, teacher?
I call you twice. Mhm.
The last one.
Yeah. Okay, if you want to present, you can do it right now, okay?
Yes, teacher.
Nadia,
I
you
well,
finish your test?
yes, teacher.
Okay. Let's go ahead then. Then look for your work.
Okay, I'm going to look for that in this side.
In the Padlet. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I got it.
Wait for me. Wait for me.
Okay.
Okay. It's the Padlet.
Here is raining a lot, teacher.
Let me see. Maybe it's okay. Got it. Wait a moment.
Diana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I'm looking for your work, okay?
Okay.
Mhm.
Teacher, we don't have to present the rubric.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Only the lesson.
Only a lesson.
Okay.
Let me look for it in the test. It's away though. I think I saw it. Let me see.
The third part is pink. Pink with blue.
Pink with green. Okay.
Yes.
This one. Okay. You can go ahead then.
Okay. Okay. And
Benjamin.
can I begin?
Yes, you can begin.
Good morning, teacher and classmates. For today, we are going to present my activity number 4 about the lesson plan. Okay.
Frequency adverbs.
Yes, frequency adverbs, adverb of frequency. Okay. In my objectives, to activate the students' prior knowledge, capture their attention, and introduce the lesson's topic in a meaningful context. And the second one, to present the target language, frequency adverbs in context, provide a control and guide practice and facilitate communicative application of the new grammar. And the other one, to review the key concepts, check for understanding, and provide a sense of accomplishment and closer to the lesson. Okay, these are my objectives. And the opening stage, I wrote the objectives too, and warm up. Warm up and engagement begin with a relatable activity to connect the topic to students' lives. In speaking activity, ask students to brainstorm a list of their daily and weekly hobbies and activities. For example, play video games, read a book, practice a sport, and help with chores. And listening activity, as students share listen for any natural expression or frequency they might use. For example, I sometimes play basketball. In introduction to the topic, visually introduce the concept of how often something happens and formalize the language. My visual aid display a bar chart or a frequency scale
of the board with percentages. For example, always 100%, usually 19%, and often 75%, sometimes 50%, seldom, rarely 10%, never 0%. Ask students to place their activities on the scale in the target language, introduce the core question and sentence structure. For example, how often do you um, eat vegetables, for example? And I adverb in frequency verb. Okay, in development stage, I wrote the objective two and the first one, presentation and comprehension, reading and listening activity. Provide a short article of a blog post about a famous person, weekly schedule of or habits. The text should use a variety of frequency adverbs. Students read along as they listen to the audio version. And the another one, comprehension questions. Ask more detailed comprehension questions to check understanding of the text, content, text content, and the grammatical clues. For example, what does Mariah Carey do rarely? For example, based on the text, what is the difference between often and sometimes? And sometimes, okay, in control practice, writing and reading, students work on exercises that reinforce the grammatical rule, placement of frequency adverbs with different verbs, including be.
Okay, very good. Mhm.
In activities, rewriting sentences to include a given adverb. For example, she is late, or she is often late, or finding and correcting errors in sentences where the adverb is means misplaced. In communicative practice, um, okay, okay, speaking and listening, a transition from control exercises to more natural communication. In activities in pairs, students interview each other about their daily and weekly routines using the target question and adverbs. A more structured task could be find three things you and your partner do with the same frequency and one thing you do with a different frequency. In production, writing and speaking, students apply the new grammar in a creative, personal context. In activity, students write a short diary entry for a character they invent, describing their weekly schedule using a variety of frequency adverbs. They should aim for a list of 5 or 7 sentences. They can then share their diary entry with the class listening to guess who the character is. In closing, in my closing stage, review and summarization, revisit the main points of the lesson. In writing, ask the students to write down the 6 main frequency adverbs in order from most frequent to least frequent. Okay, in speaking, play a frequency adverb chain. The first student says a sentence with an adverb, and the next student repeat it and adds their own sentence. For example, I always eat breakfast. Um, I always eat breakfast and I often play outside. For example, in assessment and feedback, conduct a quick low stakes assessment to check for learning. In activity, a quick true or false quiz on a worksheet based on grammar rules. For example, the adverb always goes after the verb to be. Alternatively, a short written exit ticket where students complete sentences about their own lives. For example, I sometimes and my best friend is never, and that's all, teacher.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Well
you for the
done.
opportunity, teacher.
Okay, good job. Okay.
Thanks, teacher. You're welcome.
Oh, let me go back to your task to see what you are doing there. Let me see. Mhm. Everybody are done. Remember. Bara, bara. Very, 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 oh, I think everybody finished. See here. Anel, Diana, Shirley, Angela, Cindy, Dania, Gustavo, Hector, Clarice. Anyone is missing? I want to check in. Okay, Catherine. Catherine. Morelos.
Teacher, could I upload that test in a few minutes?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
okay.
it's okay. That's why I
Okay,
check in. Who is missing? Okay.
okay, thank you too much.
Milita. Ferrer, Bárbara. Sí. Ana. Children. Um, s- Sing. Stop. Jailin, you're missing out.
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
I'll put a few minutes.
Okay. Okay, people, we end. This is all for today. Nice to be with you all. Okay. I'm so proud of you people. Goodbye. God save life.
Thank
Goodbye,
you.
Professor.
Thank you,
Blessings.
Professor.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye,
God save
Professor.
life.
Bye.
Bye, Professor. It
Bye.
was a pleasure to be with you.
Hey, bless.
Thanks for the professor. Have a good weekend.
Okay. Same for you. Bye.
Teacher, what day the grades will be uploaded on the platform? At least, more or less.
At least in 8 days.
On
Because I have
eight
to
days.
check. Yes, because I have to check
Um,
all the platform, all your
okay.
tasks, all your activity, one by one.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you so
Next
much.
week, God save life. Next week.
Oh, next week. Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, teacher, for
Okay.
everything and for your
Remember
patience.
your test. Remember your test.
Okay.